You weren't hard to replace. They were never deeply attached, and that truth hurts your ego more than your heart. Because when someone moves on quickly, your mind starts questioning everything. Did I even matter? Was any of it real? How can they be okay so fast? And those questions destroy you slowly. Not because you miss them deeply, but because their ability to move on quickly makes you feel insignificant. Like the connection meant more to you than it ever did to them. And maybe that's exactly what happened. Because attachment levels were never equal. You were emotionally invested. They were emotionally comfortable. There's a difference. You built emotional security around them. They simply enjoyed your presence while it benefited them. And when the feelings faded for them, they detached easily, while you stayed emotionally connected. That's why the breakup feels different for both of you. You're grieving the emotional bond. They're grieving temporary comfort. And temporary comfort is easier to replace. That's why watching them move on hurts so much. Because while you're still processing memories, they're already distracting themselves with someone new. Not necessarily because they love the new person more, but because some people cannot sit alone with their emotions. They need distraction, attention, validation, anything to avoid feeling empty. And instead of healing properly, they replace conversations, replace attention, replace routines, trying to replace the feeling instead of understanding the pain. But replacing someone quickly doesn't mean the connection was deep. Sometimes it means the opposite. Because deep emotional connections leave impact. They leave reflection. They leave growth. They leave emotional processing. And people who truly feel deeply don't move on emotionally overnight. But again, that realization hurts. Because now you start seeing the relationship differently. You start noticing how much emotional weight you were carrying alone. How much effort came from you. How much loyalty came from you. How much emotional depth came from you. And suddenly, everything makes sense. Why you felt exhausted, why you felt anxious, why you constantly needed reassurance. Because subconsciously, you already felt the imbalance. You felt yourself caring more, and caring more always hurts more in the end. Because the person who invests emotionally deeper always struggles harder to let go. Not because they're weak, but because they genuinely attached. And attachment doesn't disappear instantly. It fades slowly, through acceptance, through healing, through painful clarity. But you haven't fully reached clarity yet. Part of you still believes, if I mattered enough, they wouldn't move on so fast. But people's actions after relationships say more about them than they say about your worth. Some people heal. Some distract themselves, some reflect, some avoid. And emotional avoidance can look like moving on, but often it's just emotional escape. Still, none of that changes one painful truth. You cared more, and now you're the one left carrying the emotional aftermath. But here's what you slowly start realizing. Caring deeply was never your weakness. Loving genuinely was never your mistake. The mistake was giving that depth to someone who couldn't match it. And once you understand that, everything shifts. Because now, you stop comparing healing timelines. You stop questioning your value based on how fast they moved on. You stop believing replacement means superiority. Because people are not replaceable emotionally. Only positions are. And someone new can never erase what was truly real. not emotionally, not deeply, not permanently. So this time, you stop obsessing over how fast they moved on. You stop measuring your worth through their behavior, and instead, you focus on healing properly. Because real healing takes time, reflection, growth, pain, acceptance. And unlike temporary distraction, real healing actually changes you. It makes you wiser, stronger, more aware. And one day, you'll realize something powerful. They didn't move on quickly. They just avoided feeling deeply, while you had the courage to actually process it. And that courage will heal you in ways temporary distractions never could.